When I look at the builder directories and all the cost breakdowns we pulled for today, I feel like I've been lied to by my own social media feed.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, you see these like super sleek container homes. They look like these cool industrial Lego sets.
Right.
And the whole vibe is that you can build one for almost nothing because, it's just a discarded metal box.
What is the classic Instagram versus reality trap? It's such a compelling story. You're saving the planet, you're saving your wallet, all by upcycling this steel box.
Exactly. But that's what we're doing in this deep dive. We're looking at the top U.S. builders, the real costs, and answering that one big question. Is it actually cheaper?
And when you look at the real data, the stuff from 2025, 2026, that cheap argument just completely falls apart.
It really does. The sticker shock is where it starts.
It is. It's the difference between the price of the box and the price of the home. Sure, a used 20-foot container, that might cost you, what, $3,000?
Right, which sounds amazing.
But our sources estimate a finished, legal home ends up somewhere between $150 and $350 a square foot.
Which, for anyone keeping score, is basically the same price as a traditional stick-built house.
Exactly. You're not saving money. You're just paying for a very specific aesthetic.
And that's just for a standard build. We saw some of the premium companies like Hanamobo. Their prices were way higher.
Oh, Hanamobo is a whole other level. They're up in the Northwest. You're looking at $400 to $600 a square foot.
I mean, their stuff looks like an Apple store, floor-to-ceiling glass, solar-ready, just very high-end.
It is.
But it brings up the question, why is it so expensive if the shell is already there? We found this idea in the guides, the hidden 5 figures.
Yeah, it really comes down to physics. A shipping container is a monocoque structure. It's designed to hold all its weight on the corners.
And on the sides.
Not on the sides. The walls are strong, sure, but the second you cut a big hole for a window or a door, the whole thing loses its structural integrity.
So you spend all this money welding in heavy steel reinforcements just so the roof doesn't, sag in the middle.
You got it. And then there's the site prep. You can't just plop 8,000 pounds of steel onto your lawn.
Yeah, I guess not.
You need concrete piers, maybe a full slab foundation. That's easily $5,000, $10,000, even $20,000 before the container even arrives.
And we have to talk about the sweating. I was reading about the insulation needs, and honestly, it sounds terrifying.
It's a dew-point nightmare because metal is such a great conductor of heat and cold if you don't get the insulation perfect.
You're living inside a rain cloud?
Pretty much. Warm air hits that cold steel, turns to water, and runs down the inside of your walls. A low black mold.
So you have to use that expensive closed-cell spray foam. There's no way around it.
No. And speaking of hazards, a lot of used containers have floors treated with some pretty heavy pesticides for ocean travel.
Oh, great. So you're ripping out floors and sandblasting toxic paint off the walls before you can even start.
Which brings us back to the builders. Because unless you're a welder with a hazmat suit, you probably want a pro to handle this.
We mentioned Hanamobo for the luxury market. What about for people who want something more rustic? Backcountry containers in Texas came up a lot.
Yeah, they have that famous blue farmhouse look, rooftop decks, wood siding, definitely more country living.
Right, but the sources said they often just build the shell and the utilities, so you still might need local contractors to finish it.
That's a key point. Now, for variety, custom container living out of Missouri seem to have a ton of options.
Over 15 floor plans. I saw everything from a little studio up to a 960 square foot home they called the Happy Together.
And then for the real architecture nerds, you've got Cargitecture in Seattle and Logical Homes. They're very focused on the eco-design side of things.
And we should probably mention Shelter Mode, too, because that name was everywhere.
Good catch. Shelter Mode is fantastic, but they sell plans, they sell blueprints, they don't ship you a house.
Right. It's for the serious DIY crowd. But even with the best plans, you hit the final boss, the zoning department.
Ugh, yes. A lot of cities just don't have building codes for this yet. So getting a permit could take months or even years.
So let's recap. It costs the same as a normal house. You have to reinforce it like a bunker. It might have toxic materials, and the government might not even let you build it.
That's about the size of it.
What's the actual advantage then? Is there...
Speed? That is the one. Undisputed win.
How so?
Because it's modular. The factory can build your home at the same time the crew is pouring your foundation. You can cut the construction timeline in half.
Ah, so it's not a cheat code for cheap housing. It's a cheat code for fast housing.
That is the big takeaway.
It really changes how you look at those Instagram photos. It leaves me with one final thought, though.
What's that?
If you have to replace the floor, sandblast the paint, frame out a whole interior, and weld steel into every hole you cut. Are you even building a container home anymore? Or are you just using a shipping container as a very, very expensive, trendy siding?